Hello and welcome to this video in which I am going to be giving you an introduction to risk management. Risk management has some fairly basic and advanced use cases, and in this video I'm going to be talking you through the basic but nevertheless crucially important steps that you need to be aware of before you take every single trade. So firstly, what is a trade setup? A trade setup is a thought through plan where you have decided to enter a trade based off of technical analysis. An example of a poor trade entry would be approaching your computer, logging in and see price going up, and then impulsively buying out of fear of missing out, also known as emotional trading. Many times you will have done this, I'm sure, only to buy at the very top and then see price immediately crash, and you will have said to yourself, that was a very silly trade. So we want to block out this emotional style of trading and get into the plans of having technical analysis and our trade setups. So a trade setup is comprised of 3 points. Okay, point number 1 is an entry. Point number 2 is a stop loss. Point number 3 is a take profit. That on the chart looks like this: entry, stop loss, and take profit. So an entry point is where you will place your orders to enter a trade. A stop loss is where your position will be totally closed for a loss if hit. And a take profit is where your position will be totally closed for a win if hit. So this is the trade example that I'm going to be going through here. We have a series of resistance, which is then broken. So once resistance is broken, we are expecting this to come back down to this point and act as support for another move to the upside. So upon this thesis that we have for our trade plan, we have to know where we are wrong, because every trade has the possibility of being wrong. It is impossible to win every single trade that you take, and this is why the stop loss is crucially important to you as a trader using risk management. Okay, so our stop loss firstly is not in an arbitrary place such as 1% away or 5% away. We are placing the stop loss where we are wrong on our trade idea, and in this case we are entering the trade off of a resistance support flip, and our stop loss is placed at our invalidation that if price comes down through this level, we were wrong on our idea that this resistance would then return as support. So we have placed our stop loss at invalidation, and we have placed the take profit back up at the highs where we want to see a move down into this at a support and come back up to the high. Why do we place a take profit? Because many times if you do not place a take profit, it's too easy to get greedy upon seeing price rebounce up here, and it will get to the point where you would have originally been happy taking profits, and one may get greedy and think, oh, let this carry on, only to see those profits turn to losses. So you need to get in the habit of having these trade setups and sticking to your plans. So moving on. Trading is a game of probabilities, okay, in which it is impossible to expect a 100% win rate over time. Knowing where your invalidation is before you enter a trade is very important, okay? So knowing where you are wrong is just as important as where you are correct. So expanding upon this, you have to acknowledge that it is normal to take losses in trading, okay? It's normal to take a loss. Do not be afraid or worried to take a loss. You just have to get to a point within your trading career where you are taking more wins than losses, and that will come with time. So always place a stop loss as it is there to protect you. Always place a take profit as it is there to stop you getting greedy and eventually seeing wins turn to losses. So both the entry, which naturally everybody's going to have, but importantly the stop loss and take profits, having both of those recognized that where you are going to have these levels set before you enter the trade is massively important to becoming a consistent trader over time. So overall, having a plan for every trade before you enter is very, very important. And those 3 steps, once again, that you need to be having are your entry, so working out from technical analysis why you are entering here, and then off of this thesis, know where you are wrong. That's where you place your stop loss. And then thirdly, you will have a take profit in place to know where you are correct on this trade setup to get out of that trade, where you can then search for a new trade setup. So thank you for watching this video. I hope that it has been very helpful, and I will catch you in the next one. Thank you and goodbye.